Hey, it's Danielle Ford. Today I wanted to do a review about one of my all-time favorite books ever. It's called The E-Myth Revisited, and it's by Michael Gerber. And I decided to do a review on it because I love it. I've actually, like anyone that goes into business or people that are struggling with business, I always tell them about it and suggest that they read it. And I've had like people that I love read it. I've had my sister read it. I've had past employees read it because just understanding the basic fundamentals in this book could take a business that's not doing so well and just tell you every single thing you're doing wrong and exactly how to fix it. And it gives you, step-by-step ideas and things to do. And it could just change the whole structure and, potential and growth of your business. It's amazing. So in the book, it has Michael Gerber talking to, I assume, one of his friends, Sarah, who owns a bakery, and she makes pies. And her business is failing, and she's miserable, and she's the sole owner of it. She's working, 16 hours a day, trying to get everything done, doing the books, doing everything herself, and he just stops her and goes through the whole process. That's what the book is kind of based around. It goes through the whole process of what she did from the beginning, what she's doing now, what failed, and then he tells her exactly what to do. So I'm going to kind of give you the general gists and main points that I found and wrote in my notes of the book, okay? So every year, I'm reading this, every year over 1 million people in the United States start their own business. And statistically, it says that 40% of all of those small businesses will be out of business within the first year. And then within 5 years, 80% of all of those million businesses that started are going to fail, which that sucks. This book is structured around 4 main ideas that tell you exactly how you can be in that 20% of businesses that succeed. The first idea is that the myth that anybody risking capital to start a business is an entrepreneur, and that's not true. Just because you start a business does not make you an entrepreneur. The second idea in the book is huge, the Turnkey Revolution. The third idea is the actual business development process. The fourth idea is that the BDR, or business development process, can be applied to any business in a step-by-step process that incorporates the Turnkey Revolution. So it's pretty awesome, and yeah. So one of the key points in this book is that there's 3 people actually inside of every person, which is sounds kind of creepy, but it's not. Okay, so every person has a technician, which is the person that does the work of whatever business it is. Then there's the manager, and that's the person that organizes everything and keeps everything going. And then there's the entrepreneur, and they're the person that probably decided to start the business in the first place. People usually suffer from what he calls an entrepreneurial seizure, and they're like, I want to start a business, and then they do. And then reality sinks in, and they learn that it's not as easy as they thought. So the technician, the first person, is it's the hairdresser that goes into business because she's so awesome at hair, and everyone tells her that she should go into business for hair. Then there's the manager, the person that inside of you that knows how to organize everything and how to plan and how to schedule, but doesn't always want to be, dealing with the technical work and doesn't have time for the entrepreneurial visions and et cetera, et cetera. And then the person, the entrepreneur, the dreamer, the visionary, the person that just wreaks havoc, for the manager to fix and causes all these problems. Everybody has all those people inside of them. And a general person has about, I think it was, let me look at my notes, hold on. General person has, how did I write it? Oh, okay. 70% technician, so that's the hairdresser that just does hair. 20% manager, organization, and 10% entrepreneur. Michael Gerber's theory is that if everybody was equal parts of all 3, then it would be awesome. The business would succeed. But unfortunately it's not, but there are ways to train yourself to be all 3 of those things. And that's what he starts to tell you later in the book. So on top of the 3 people inside of each person, there's also 3 stages of a business, or 3 types of businesses. There's infancy, there's adolescence, and maturity. And here's the difference. Infancy is any business in which the owner and the business are the same exact thing. Okay, that's the hairdresser that's cutting all of the hair. You know, that's the mechanic that's doing all the cars, fixing all the cars, the photographer taking all the pictures. No one else, working for them. That is definition of a infant's business, and that business is not going to succeed. It's either going to eventually fail because one person inevitably cannot do all of it, or is going to have to turn into adolescence. So you can tell a business that is in adolescence because the business owner has decided to step out of infancy and they've decided to get some help. So they usually hire somebody to help with the books or the front desk or help them manage everything, but it's just one person, maybe two people, maybe a few people, but they don't have a clearly developed, implemented system in place. They pretty much just put responsibility, decision-making, tasks onto these people without enough clear guidance, and inevitably, eventually, that business will fail because there's no way to predict the patterns of people. Who knows what's going to happen, but without a clear structure, that business that became an adolescent will probably make it to like the 5-year mark when businesses fail, 80% of them, but they're not going to be, they never become a mature company, and they never have a chance at lasting longer than that. The biggest difference about a business that is in maturity is they ask the question, how must this business work? How must it work? What does it have to do to work? Okay? But a technician and a manager asks what work has to be done. Does that make sense? Okay. You have to define clearly exactly what needs to be done on all aspects of a business before you even start the business, really. How you cut the hair doesn't matter. What products you use to the hair doesn't matter. What matters is that the entire system going fully around it works. That needs to be figured out first before even one thing about how to cut the hair or whatever is even thought about. The mature company already has a clear vision, exact vision of the business that they want when it's big and when it's huge and successful, and they know that it works, and then they start small, working step by step to reach that vision. They don't just start with what's the best way to cut hair. They start already knowing their exact hair salon they're going to have when it becomes huge. So once you decide to have a mature company, you have to take a step back and you have to start thinking about your entrepreneurial model, what exactly you want it to be, what is it going to look like to customers. You have to actually think of your business not as selling a product, but as the actual product itself. Like your business is on a shelf compared to all of your competitors. Why is your business different? The haircut inside the business doesn't matter as much. You need to create an entire system of business that's going to differentiate yourself from all of your competitors. You need to be your own product on a shelf. Brand yourself that way. Here's where the book gets really fun, okay? Michael Gerber starts talking about the Turnkey Revolution, which basically means franchising. Before, they had the business format franchise, which is what is the most profitable type of business. They had trade name franchises. They still do, but a trade name franchise is you can lease your name to a smaller company, and they are able to be part of your group and say, oh, we're this or whatever, but that's as far as it goes. The business format franchise not only leases a name out to a smaller company, but also an entire system of doing business, an entire format, better known as the operations manual. So if somebody buys a franchise from you, they buy everything. They know exactly the speech to say when customers walk in the door, exactly how to do all the services, what products they sell, what logo they have, everything, not just a name. And so that is the best proven result for a business. And what Michael Gerber talks about is that you need to format your business as a franchise. Even if you don't want to franchise, you need to pretend like you're going to franchise, because like I told you earlier, that 80% of small businesses are going to fail within 5 years. 75% of franchises make it past 5 years. So I'm not really good at math, but if you do the math, most of the businesses that are succeeding are franchises. One of the biggest things that's stressed in this book is that the business that you're in is not your life. The business serves your life. So the infant business where the technician is doing all of the work, running the company, owner, operator, everything, that's the business being their life, when the reason that you create a business is to have a life, right? It doesn't work that way unless you follow these 6 specific rules that need to be in place to have a successful franchise. And they are as follows. It will provide consistent value to your customers, employees, suppliers, and lenders beyond what they expect. The model will be operated by people with the lowest possible level of skill. The model will stand out as a place of impeccable order. All work in the model will be documented in the operations manuals. The model will provide a uniformly predictable service to the customer. The model will utilize a uniform color, dress, and facilities code. So now if you're ready to actually start working on your business format franchise, there are 3 things that you need to put in place to your business. Innovation, quantification, and orchestration. Innovation is thought of a lot as creativity, but innovation is actually not creativity. Creativity is thinking up things that need to get done, thinking up new things, new creative ideas that need to get done. Innovation is doing new things that need to get done. Innovation is the creativity behind your business that's going to set you apart from other businesses. It's even little things like, instead of saying to a customer, "Hi, can I help you?" That's, yes or no. You can ask them, "Hi, have you been here before?" It opens up more of a conversation. Something like that you expect your employees to do, or you think that you do it, but it needs to be always tested, always new things done, and that single question and other things like that need to be specifically part of your operations manual. So with just innovation, things are getting solved but nothing's getting done, or with just innovation, things are getting tried, but there's no way to know what's working. So that brings in quantification. Every single thing that you do, you need to be testing. If you ask, 10 people, "Hi, may I help you?" You need to document what they bought or what their response was or whatever, and then ask another 10 people, "Hi, have you been here before?" and document those results as well. You need to constantly be quantifying things, and it doesn't even matter what works. Keep testing everything with new ideas, and the things that do work, implement them and always change it. Your business should be ever evolving and changing, but you need to constantly be tracking what is working for your business and what's not. Now the third is orchestration, which once you've done your innovation of picking a few questions to ask or greetings to a customer, and you've tested it, tried and true, then comes the orchestration of actually putting it into effect every time. This is where you take away from your employees their discretion to say whatever they want to the customers. It's nice to give employees, freedom, but if you've done, something as small as testing one greeting and you found that a certain one works better for your business than something else, that becomes orchestration when you make it a set part of your business. Something that a lot of business owners forget about is why they got into business in the first place. Or you might be thinking about it right now if you're just starting a business, but you need to keep that in mind while you're creating your business. And that's called your primary aim. What's your primary aim for your life? Why are you starting this business? What do you want to be doing in 5 years and 10 years? If you lose track of your primary aim, then you lose everything. You lose your exact focal point of what you're working for, and then nothing else even matters, right? You have to have a clear definition of what you're trying to do with your life, where you're going to be in 10 years, and that's why you work your business around that, and that's why you don't do everything yourself, and that's why you start a clear system. So once you've developed your primary aim, then you need to develop a strategic objective, and that is what your business needs to do for you to hit your primary aim. If your primary aim is to retire in 10 years, what does your business have to do? How big does it have to expand in 2 years? What does it have to be in 5 years? What does it have to be in 10 years? Obviously, you want to retire, you're not going to be there in 10 years. What does your business have to be then? And all these steps, you have to have a clear, formatted picture of that before you can think about the little things like, how am I going to cut the hair? So now that you've figured out your primary aim and your strategic objective, can't talk. So the next step is your organizational strategy. A lot of people just think because we have 5 employees, everything's going to get done, and it might for a while. But if you have, one person turning the lights on in the daytime, and then one person batching the credit cards, one person doing that, okay, but eventually someone's going to slip up, it's going to turn into chaos. You need to literally organize everything into a written system of everyone's duties. If you are a one-man shop or one-woman hair salon, that's okay too. But every job needs to be clearly defined, starting with shareholders, which is you, to CEO, to marketing director, to manager, to cleaner. All the jobs need to be specified. And if you fill up all those jobs, that's okay. But as you grow, you need to put people in these exact jobs clearly defined so that later there's no question on what falls into place for another person, especially if you have a partnership. Especially if your partnership is family. Like, that's the worst. You need to absolutely make sure the tiniest details. You're the one in charge of cleaning, this, whatever. You're the one in charge of scheduling. You're the one in charge of whatever. So it's written down, out of the way, no questions, no problems. Next step. The next step is creating a management system. And this seems like it would be difficult, but it's actually really simple if you've made it this far, if you've been creating your system. Your management system is actually your system, and it's somebody you put in charge to make sure that your system stays in place. And for right now, if it's just you, then you're your whole management system. But the manager needs to understand the system better than the, bottom employee or whatever. That person needs to know the entire system, and that person is your management system. They need to keep everything going the way that you've created, that you've tried and tested and found to be the best for your business. And you can step away from it because you know exactly what's going on because you created the entire system. The next step is creating your people system. This isn't hard either because you've already created an entire system and you've been the people that are working your business. Now you just want to expand, but you literally have had your feet in their shoes, so you pretty much just have to show them what to do. People are actually more comfortable having a clear set list of regulations and job descriptions than having to create things themselves. Sometimes is a little bit nerve-wracking. So giving them specific tasks and duties and an entire system is comforting to people that work for you. Again, it's not like a game. Don't try to get people to do more work than you are willing to do yourself. You literally know firsthand what it takes to run your business, and now it's so simple to hire an entire staff for your business. So the last part is your marketing strategy, and that's the fun part because marketing never ends either. Marketing is always just, you have to test the market, you have to see what people want. They don't always know what they need, but people definitely know what they want. Marketing in your business, you should be thinking about things like, the colors of your business. Different colors relate to people differently. If you're food, the colors red and yellow make people hungry. That's why every fast food restaurant uses red and yellow. That's why you should never paint your kitchen red. You should paint it blue because it makes you not hungry. You need to think about all these things. Different shapes relate differently to people. Circles are more comforting. Octagons and squares are more harsh, and you need to think about the inside marketing. You need to think about referral marketing. You need to think about guerrilla marketing, online marketing. And this is a whole nother thing it's another system you get to create once you've started your business, and another system that is always going to be changing as the market changes. The book continues on to teach you the differences between hard systems and soft systems in a business. An example of a hard system would be something like sanitation thing. Like, we always put toilet seat covers here or whatever. It's just something that's very staple of a product or whatever. A people system is something like, we always say this thing when we say goodbye to a customer, or this thing when we answer the phone. It kind of talks more about that, which is really good. Then it talks about the appointment presentation and how important it is to have some sort of like sales marketing script. I guess the real point is to get a sale for your business. So again, you do this system and you find the tried and true methods that work to get clients, and then you teach your employees that. So the book kind of goes on and on about how to do these things, which is really important. All in all, this is one of my favorite books of all time. I loved it enough to actually review it because I know that the people that I tell to read this book to are probably not going to read it. They will watch this video and then probably get a little bit of information, and if they are serious about their business, then they'll probably read the book, I hope. But yep, again, it is The E-Myth Revisited. Michael Gerber, amazing. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Danielle Ford, signing out.